I caught a college girl stealing means in fadier clothes cuisine, the most free method I've seen in 15 years of loss prevention. After 15 years in retail loss prevention, I thought I'd seen every shoplifting trick imaginable. Then I caught a college student who'd been stealing from our high-end department store for months, using a method so clever it took us reviewing hundreds of hours of footage to figure out what was happening. Our store had been experiencing unusual inventory discrepancies in the designer section. Pert expensive items missing with no signs of theft on security cameras, no alarms triggered, no suspicious behavior caught in camera, just clothes vanishing between inventory counts after 3 months of unexplained losses totaling over $15,000. My team installed additional hidden cameras covering blind spots. 2 weeks later, we finally spotted our thief, a well-dressed young woman who looked like any other affluent college student shopping at our store. Her method was brilliant in its simplicity. She'd enter the store wearing base layers part, thin leggings, and a fitted tank top in neutral colors. Inside the fitting room, she'd put on the most expensive item Persian, usually a dress or blouse pert over her base layers. She'd then put her original clothes on top, creating perfect camouflage. The stolen item became an invisible middle layer, but here is where her technique became truly sophisticated. Before leaving the fitting room, she'd use a small seam ripper to carefully remove the security tag, then seal the tiny hole with clear nail polish she carried in her purse. The removed tags would be hidden in the pockets of rejected items or slipped into the lining of her purse. When she emerged, she'd return 5 items to the sales associate, casually mentioning that she was still wearing her own sweater underneath her jacket because it's freezing in here. Parton, a perfect explanation for any visible layering. She'd make a small purchase part, usually an accessory or beauty product pert, to appear legitimate, then walk out wearing merchandise worth thousands without triggering a single alarm. What ultimately gave her away wasn't the theft itself, but a pattern in store visits. She always came on Tuesday afternoons when our most experienced security guard was on break and our newest associate was working the fitting rooms. After identifying her method, we waited until she attempted it again. When confronted with the video evidence, she didn't run or deny it. Instead, she calmly explained that she was a fashion marketing student who considered it field research on retail security vulnerabilities. Her dorm room contained over 40 designer items from our store, and 2 others in the mall penned nearly $32,000 in merchandise, all with tiny, nearly invisible mended seams where security tags had been. The district attorney was so impressed by her methodology that he initially considered reducing charges in exchange for her consulting on store security. That idea was quickly abandoned when background checks revealed she'd interned at 2 retail security firms before college. She hadn't been stealing out of financial need or typical shoplifter impulses. She'd been systematically testing and documenting security weaknesses, keeping detailed notes on each successful theft in a notebook labeled Retail Log 80 Independent Study in 15 Years of Loss Prevention. I've caught people hiding merchandise in baby strollers, wearing multiple layers of jeans, and even one man who trained his dog to carry items under its vest. But I've never encountered someone who approached theft with such methodical precision and psychological insight. The most dangerous criminals aren't the desperate or impulsive ones. They're the patient observers who understand systems well enough to disappear within them.